Hello and welcome back, my friends. I've got a plant profile for you today. This is an exciting variety I want to share with you guys. It's my opinion everybody should have this plant growing in their garden. It's so prolific, so tasty, and beautiful as well. What we have behind me here is the Tronchuda kale, or Tronchuda Portuguese kale. And as you can see, the plants are in full bloom. The bees, the bumblebees, are loving this plant up at the moment. And we're letting it go through its entire cycle so that we can collect the seed pods that are developing here, so that we can grow a lot more of this plant. Now, it is a hybrid, but with that being said, this plant right here grew from a seed that dropped off the mother plant that was growing on the backside of this raised bed last year. So this grew from seed. It produced an absolutely amazing plant for us all year long. I'm going to show you a close-up to how large these leaves are. And you can see here, we've got a slight variation, another seedling that grew from that same mother plant, but we've got some variegated veins going through this plant here. You see the purple color, and because this plant is in the Brassica oleracea family, it's going to cross with some of the other brassicas you may have growing. And as you know, we're big on growing perennial greens back here. We've got all sorts of varieties, everything from merit collard, dino tree kale, walking stick kale, and a lot of different plants that have been created here right on site, like this beautiful tree kale here. So these can cross and you can end up with some really unique and fantastic varieties. Now, as you can see, this plant here is towering at 5 feet tall. We don't have it staked up at all. And just check out the size of these leaves. Is that not amazing? Why don't you go ahead and break that off, honey? Let's give them a comparison how large it is compared to you. Are you kidding me? Absolutely amazing. So it's not just the size of these leaves that make it such a valuable asset in the garden, but it's the taste of this kale. It's absolutely exquisite. It's sweet, crisp. It's perfect for throwing through a juicer, making smoothies, sautés, wraps, putting them into a salad, what have you. Now, as the plant does begin to mature and go into flower, the leaves will turn a bit more bitter, just as most of the Brassica family does, but that's just fine. We're still going to utilize these. It's also important for me to mention to you guys that this plant never received any special attention. I didn't even plant it. Like I said, it was a volunteer that popped up, but no added fertilizer, no extra watering, anything like that. It's just been able to stand on its own. Now, the growing bed that this plant is growing out of is full of nice, nutritious soil, because it's a hidden hugelkultur. So there's a lot of wood product that's been decaying towards the bottom of this mound, and the soil itself, a lot of it has been sifted and created by some of our wood chip and compost piles. So there's a lot of nutrients in the soil, but overall a very hardy plant. It survives our winters here, no problem. Zone 9B, Northern California. We dip below freezing here, and it'll survive that. It's also quite drought tolerant, and it's actually, out of a lot of the brassicas, it handles the heat quite well. So if you allow it to continue to go through the cycle, you can continue to harvest those leaves that have been developing through the colder months, and you have yourself a wonderful food crop here, creating lots of abundance for you. Why don't you go ahead and harvest that leaf too for him, sweetie, so we can compare the two. So you can see here a better close-up of the different variation between the two different plants growing from the same seed off the mother plant. And this is actually a very beautiful Portuguese kale too. It's not as large as this other variety ended up being, but definitely look at the darker green in the leaf and all that purple, and still a leaf that can stand up on its own, no problem. So there you have it, my friends, Tronchuda Portuguese kale, absolutely amazing. I hope you're able to get yourself some seeds this year. They are kind of hard to come by, but if you're unable to, just put it on your list and grow it when you can. We, of course, will be saving seed stock, and maybe we'll have some that we can offer in the future. And so with that, we want to thank you all for watching. Have yourself a great rest of the day. Until next time, this is Dan
and Alice
from plantabundance.com. Take care. We'll be talking to you again soon.
Bye.
Have to fix some more here.
If it is raining, I can put it like this. I'm gonna do it as my umbrella. Now it's hot.
Yeah. It also makes a great shade canopy or an umbrella if you need it.
Yeah.
Thumbnail time.
Huh?
it.